Yes, yep.
So we've got some questions that have been sent to us over. G'day everyone, welcome to Think Tank. Today we're doing an Ipswich market update for sales and rentals. We're joined by Kylie Walker, formerly of Channel 10 News Brisbane, I think.
Yes, yep.
So we've got some questions that have been sent to us over the last week that Taylor's going to read out, and we're going to do our best to answer them so we can give you an update on how the Ipswich market has been. Fire away. I would say straight off the bat, we haven't seen a drastic change in the market during COVID. I think to the government's credit, they moved pretty quickly in easing restrictions, so we were able to do open homes and private inspections fairly quickly in succession during the period. So that certainly assisted with us showing buyers. I think one thing we did see during COVID-19, and it was something that we were seeing prior to that as well, was the affordability option that Ipswich presents has given an alternative to Brisbane buyers, and we're starting to see a lot of Brisbane buyers flood the Ipswich market because of the affordability. So those two factors, I guess, helped us during COVID, and for that reason we didn't see a retraction in the market. In fact, our figures are up on where they were 12 months ago, which is a testament to the team here at I Think Property.
When the government or Scott Morrison announced the moratorium on evictions, everybody across the industry went into panic mode. We thought this was going to be disastrous. Tenants were going to stop paying rent. Tenants were going to fudge the circumstances. But what we've actually found, and I think it's pretty much across the industry, our vacancy has actually been at an all-time low. We're under 1%, we have been consistently under 1% since COVID-19 situation erupted. We have found that our leasing periods has only been the 2 to 3 weeks. And as Adam said, we shifted and pivoted and changed how we were doing some of our procedures. We were doing virtual inspections. We quickly adapted to the changes in the government legislation, and that allowed us to also keep on top of our rent arrears, which again has also been at an all-time low. That has been consistently under 5%. And I'm talking to other agencies around the area. I believe that is across the board in Ipswich. Everyone has really addressed the new changes and jumped on to contacting tenants very quickly. As soon as they're sort of 1 day in arrears, we certainly do. Once a tenant's 1 day in arrears, we're jumping on, we're contacting them, we're finding out if they're COVID-19 affected or not. And obviously if they are, we work with them to put some sort of a payment plan or payment default in place. And if they aren't COVID affected, it's business as usual, breaching, and the rest plays out as normal. So we have actually found that the market hasn't really changed dramatically at all.
It's a really good question if you're thinking of selling, and the answer is yes, listings are slightly down. I think that's across the board nationwide. That's not specific to Ipswich only, but the thing you need to remember, if you're a seller, if the market's on its way up and there's an influx of listings coming to market, then you're selling in competition with those other listings. So whilst there's less listings coming to market, those listings that are coming to market have less competition. There's still buyer demand, but there's less competition. So theoretically, it's actually a better time to sell when there's less listings coming to market because you have less competition as a seller.
So demand is actually outweighing the
Correct.
supply.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think the thing, regardless of whether the market's good, bad or ugly, people need to buy and sell for various reasons. Divorce, financial strain, moving interstate, work in another city, people sell because of lifestyle and they buy because of lifestyle. That's not going to change in any market, and COVID was no different. People were still selling for lifestyle reasons, and people were still buying property for lifestyle reasons, and that's going to happen in any market, good, bad or indifferent.
Not at all. We're actually finding, believe it or not, a slight increase in the price of rental properties at the moment. We're a bit the same as sales. We've got a lot of demand and not as much supply. I think the supply is down probably because a lot of tenants have been staying in properties rather than changing at that 6-month mark. They're staying there until COVID situation settles down. So there is a lot of demand still, and we've been in the Ipswich market for 11 years now. It doesn't matter what the financial circumstances are, the rental demand in Ipswich is very strong. It has never changed in the entire time we've been here. What we are finding is we're actually advertising properties for at least $10 to $15 above market value. An example, we had one in Brassel just last week. We put it on $10 above market, and we had, after the first viewing, we had 4 applications. And we've now rented it, and we had another one in Bouval which we actually increased the price compared to the market by $15, and we had 1 viewing and multiple applicants again, and rented it in a week. So it is a very strong rental market in Ipswich at the moment, and we are achieving above market rent in some areas. So it's great for everybody.
Look, there hasn't been a noticeable difference from our end over the last 12 months, and I think the important thing for people to remember is that specifically with Ipswich, we are at the lower end of the market anyway, and I think we're insulated from that to a certain extent. When you see massive price hikes and massive price retractions, people are generally talking about places like Sydney, Melbourne, inner city Brisbane, places at the higher end of the market. Because we are at that lower end of the market and affordability is still there, it ties in with the point that I made earlier. A lot of home buyers from Brisbane are opting to look out in Ipswich because of the affordability, and that's, I guess, protected our house prices to a certain extent where we haven't seen those drastic retractions. So to answer the question, the prices have remained steady for a number of years now, and at some point that's going to shift, and if the population projections come to fruition, there's going to be a whole lot of demand over the next decade in Ipswich for housing.
What about investors? Are you still finding a demand from investors?
We are, and the driving factor for people investing in Ipswich is the rental returns, and as you said, you're advertising properties at $10 or $15 a week above market value. Well, then that just increases the rental yield, and as the rental yield increases, it becomes an attractive proposition for interstate investors. So we deal with a lot of people based in Sydney and Melbourne that are getting 6.5% returns here in Ipswich, where they could only achieve maybe 3 or 4% where they live. I think it's going to cut both ways. I think once the stimulus package, and I'm talking about JobKeeper and JobSeeker obviously, are taken away, there may be a slight retraction. But then on the other side of the coin, the government's also moved quickly to introduce other grants to encourage renovations and first home buyers. So look, I think again, being at the lower end of the market and being affordable and in a growing city, I think we're going to be protected from that locally. So I don't think we're going to see, things happen in Ipswich that we may see in the bigger cities.
What about distressed sales? A lot of people had mortgage repayments on hold. Is that going to be factored into the market?
I think that's a genuine concern for some people once the government do pull those structures away from people that said to protect them during COVID, that there could be some financial distress. But that's no different to what we saw during the GFC. It's no different to what we saw in 2011 on a local level with the floods, and this is no different. There's always times where people are met with financial distress, and again, that's probably why the government's moved quickly to introduce some other stimulus packages to help, I guess, encourage transactions to take place into the future.
I should be interviewing. I've done much better interviewing than answering
I just like the sound of my own voice. That's all.
The surprise.
Yeah.
As I touched on earlier, we've been in the Ipswich market renting properties for the last decade. We've never seen any change in demand. We have had a lot of extra supply come in at different times with new developments in certain areas, and that does affect prices, and we do occasionally see a slight drop in prices. But I don't think COVID the rental market is not going to be at the mercy of what happens with the sales market. We are getting a lot of investors still buying in Ipswich. It's still an attractive proposition for investors, as Adam mentioned. With such high rental yields, it is a popular place for those sort of investors. A lot of buyers agents are still active in this area. So I think all the signs for the rental market are looking very positive at the moment. And again, the supply is probably going to decrease a little bit, and which will increase prices, I think, over the short term anyway.
This is Kylie Walker, Channel 10 News.
Signing out. Stay tuned next week. We actually have Adam and Ben back in the seat, and they're talking about cold calling, and they've got some great tips and ideas if you're really not confident with it. Stay tuned, and they'll share all their secrets.
Thank you.